correct.
Okay.
We did look at this issue on youth offenders.
It was correct,
the cross-departmental impact. So where decisions that we looked, and I thought Sir Bob Kerslake had a working group set up looking at cross-departmental impact, where policy decisions in one area have a cost impact on another. Are you three part of that working group? And does it cover the issues we're addressing here?
So Bob is doing some work along with the Institute for Government on the general subject of collaborative policy making, which covers a broad church of anything that goes between different departments, within which space things.
So does this fall? Because I actually wrote to Sir Bob asking for terms of reference and was surprised that there weren't any terms of reference. I don't know if they've been produced now or not, but what I'm trying to clarify is whether this work falls within it. And if so, have you had any discussions with Sir Bob as part of that working group?
I've had discussions with Sir Bob in my role as head of the policy profession about collaborative policy making, and we have not specifically touched on means testing.
Stephen.
Can I just come back to something you said, I think, to Meg earlier? Did you say that the Tell Us Once project has been put on ice?
What I said was that Tell Us Once has already been implemented in respect of bereavement notification. There were suggestions about doing other things as well, one of which was change of circumstance, which in the current climate I am not taking forward. And that's the thing which I'm having a conversation with the Cabinet Office about whether or not they have got resources to take forward.
So in terms of the original scope of the project, in your view, it's been delivered, has it? You can access it via direct.
So I've not come prepared to tell us. Can I drop you a note on it?
Yeah, sure. And it's just because I know in January the department was telling the Guardian that by November you'd be able to access it via direct gov. And as we're now November, I just wondered whether we were at that stage.
Well, so that may well simply be that you can access the thing I've just described via that particular web channel. You can also already access it over the phone by talking to my customer.
It's just, we're not talking about a incidental
project. Can I drop you a note?
No, absolutely. But I mean, the point I was making was the impression given was this is something because of understandable other priorities has been frozen. Your predecessor was describing this as a critically important project. And there was a huge ministerial backing, and what I'm just keen to understand is how much has been spent, where have we got to, and why is it something that was seen as so critical has suddenly been, in essence, put on hold? So perhaps if you could spell that out.
I'm happy to do that. I mean, the answer to why universal credit was not part of the world that my predecessor was describing.
Matt.
It's remarkable. You just said 40% of pensioners are getting pension credit, which is a remarkably high figure. Taking someone on average earnings, at what age would it make no sense for them to start paying into a stakeholder pension because they won't float themselves off pension credit?
I don't know, and it's not as straightforward as you're implying from the 40%, simply because this savings credit thing that I've just told you about, which is to do with our preparedness to taper away means-tested pension support. We taper it away at a more generous rate if you have made some saving provision.
Right.
So for most people with no saving provision, I'm taking it away pound for pound with every extra pound you earn or other income you've got.
Sure, but there must be a medium point or an average where, whether it's at age 50, at age 48, or at some point, it makes no sense because the government put huge impetus into stakeholder pensions as a product, and yet designed a means testing scheme that disincentivises people from saving. And
sorry, I'm disagreeing, because the whole point of the savings credit, which is if you like, a top up to the guaranteed cash benefit, which is what the basic pension credit is a top up which is related to the amount of saving you have made. So I will be more generous to you if you have more pension saving than if you have no pension saving.
right, okay.